Sustainable development. Hi there. In 1992, the rainforest was found to be in great threat from development, and thus biodiversity was the concern there at Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, and the Real Earth Summit was held there in 1992. 150 countries brought up three major concerns: biodiversity, climate change, and sustainable development. Before that, in 1972, there was the United Nations Conference on Human Development. 1980, World Conservation Strategy was later proposed to deal with 1. Poverty, 2. Conservation versus development. In 1991, Caring for the Earth and Sustainable Living. So the 1992 made Rio Declaration on Environment and Development with the statement of principles for the sustainable development of forests were adopted by over 178 countries, the largest international treaties then. The United Nations also formed the Commission on Sustainable Development with clear framework and conventions on climate change, Convention on Biological Diversity, Agenda 21, we mentioned in last video, trying to implement the Rio Declaration and the Forest Principles. 10 years later, in 2002, World Summit on SD, again held in Johannesburg, South Africa, got little improvements. 2012, there was stakeholder forum held in the Earth Summit with clear vision, cooperation, and transformation. Objectives include to secure political commitment, assess progress, and propose new and emerging challenges to sustainable development. Two new themes are green economy and institutional framework for sustainable development. To save biodiversity, let's look at the three types of biodiversity. Species diversity means the number of different species. Habitat diversity, meaning the variety of different habitats. Thirdly, the range of genetic variation or genetic diversity. From the 1992 UN Conference to the recent IUCN World Conservation Congress held in Hawaii, countries around the world are trying to work together to save the world, to save biodiversity. The major threats to biodiversity include species introduction, habitat destruction, hunting, and climate change or extreme weather, all related to human population explosion. Seahorse, sea turtle, and sharks around the world are under threats. Just cite a few examples. Over exploitation of resources is best illustrated here with overfishing. Look at the net we have harvested the ocean with bycatch, altering the ecosystem structure and function by depleting all trophic levels in the sea. Our man-made built environment also causing land use challenge, climate change, nitrogen deposition, and biotic exchange problems. These all led to biodiversity loss. To counteract such impacts or threats, as listed here in red arrows, we could do reforestation, create protection areas, and make abatement policies, sustainable use of resources, and we also need CITES, C-I-T-E-S. CITES is Convention on International Trade in endangered species of fauna and flora. Depending on the degree of threat posed by international trade, CITES classified over 30,000 endangered species into 3 appendices. Appendix 1 has 800 endangered or critically endangered or extinct in the wild. Trading is prohibited except for scientific research. Appendix 2 lists over 30,000 species with regulated trading using a license system. These are mainly threatened or vulnerable threatened, such as whales and tunas. Appendix 3 lists the species for trading needing a permit and special certificate of origin, such as seahorses. There are also IUCN Red List. IUCN is International Union for Conservation of Nature, with 10 categories from 1 to 10, extinct or not evaluated. For example, 白仔, the Chinese river dolphin, is already extinct in China. South China tiger is critically endangered. Giant panda was endangered and now vulnerable. The European or Eurasian otter in Hong Kong is nearly threatened. How about this local endemic species of fish called Macropodus hongongenesis? You may check it out online of the IUCN Red List on this official website. At last, we should revisit the three-ring model to understand how to contribute to achieve sustainable development. We have had the three-ring model covering environmental, societal, and environmental sustainability. However, we never considered how to put resources in. How are you going to fit this ring in? Have you considered the nested model of sustainability? Over time, there are now 5 dimensions of sustainable development, including social, economic, ecological, cultural, and geographical sustainability. For SUSTAT 21, from Agenda 21, there are 8 guiding principles with clear indicators for natural resources, environmental quality, biodiversity, health and hygiene, mobility, leisure and cultural vibrancy, social infrastructure, and economy. Our planning policies are also following these principles. Thank you for watching. The next video we shall study this sustainable development system in Hong Kong. Bye-bye.